Hi guys, and welcome to an Evolve Stage 2 video. Now today we are going to be talking about the Deepest Dark. Now obviously this has been out for nearly a week now, and obviously I have been playing through it quite a lot. And I just wanted to discuss just basically my views and basically the pros and cons I think I've found in regards to the Deepest Dark. Because obviously this is a completely new game mode. And Turtle Rock themselves, they have said that they want some feedback on it. So that's basically what this video is going to be, a bit of feedback on what I think and what my views are on it as a whole. So I have got a list of 3 pros and 3 cons that I am going to talk about. I know there's probably more, but I like things to be even. So you know, I wanted 3 pros and 3 cons. So these are just what I have discovered through playing the Deepest Dark. Okay, so let's start off. Number 1, the pros. Let's start off with the good things. So, first thing is, it is a completely new type of game mode, a completely new type of gameplay that they have implemented into Evolve. Now, obviously, if you have played Evolve for a long time, you will obviously know there were some original game modes, which some of you, if you only have played Evolve from the free-to-play, there were some other game modes that they used to have. So we had Defense, which was you had to try and defend the real, and the monster had all these other minions that they come and attack you with. And there was Rescue, and there was a few others. So this has basically brought a few elements that they used in that, and they've added a bit of it, added it into the Deepest Dark. And as I say, it's a new, completely new type of game mode, and obviously it takes part in co-op, so it's obviously about working together. But Evolve itself is about working together anyway. So basically, it works in the way, so it's kind of like a mission more than it's not as such. It's not really a competitive level. It is a level where you basically go through it and you have an objective that you have to complete. Now this was it was a completely new style of game. You know, this is an FPS, an online FPS game, and this just added this completely new style, very similar to you know, like special ops missions that they had in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, and I'm sure they've got it in the other ones. So yeah, so you basically go through this level and you find and you have to kill the Gorgon Queen. So that was really interesting. When you first played, the first time you played it, it was great. You just felt like this is just something completely new. You're fighting all these little Gorgons as well, which is great. So yeah, so that was the first part. I thought it was really nice and fresh, something fresh that they haven't done before yet. They encompassed these minions that they did have before, but obviously they've taken those game modes out. So yeah, so that has been one of the things that I thought was a pro. The second one, it's more relaxed. I kind of just touched on this one. Yeah, it's very relaxed. Like they said, if you want to relax, you know, you don't really, you know, particularly with the monster, if you don't fancy playing the monster or you just want to have some fun with your friends, it's a great game mode. You know what I mean? It's easy. Yeah, it's easy. You know, I can't imagine many people have failed the game mode unless you really don't know what you're doing. But it does explain it very well. So yeah, so it's really relaxed. It's great for those, you know, I just feel like, you know, or like if you fancy having a drink, you know, and playing games, you know, and you don't wanna stress yourself out, then that is really great. So that is another pro that I have found. There's probably a lot more pros I could have thought of, but for me that is important for me, that, you know, it doesn't feel like it's you know, you've got to learn it, you've got to be, you know, very skilled to play the game mode. And finally, this third pro I have found is it just shows great potential. At the moment, you know, it's a completely new game, and I think lots of people really enjoyed it. The long-term players really enjoyed it, and hopefully also the players who haven't played it for as long, I hope they enjoyed it as well. But yeah, it does show great potential of what they can actually do with Evolve. You know, they don't. It's not just these single quick, you know, hunt game modes. And I think it's important that they do implement some other game modes, because, you know, that's a thing for me. Like, for example, in Overwatch, I enjoyed the game, but because the lack of game modes and, you know, the lack of you know, different things to do in the game, I got bored of it. I think for some people it can do. I don't know why I enjoy Hunt so much. That for me it doesn't get boring, but for some people I can imagine it probably does. So having these new game modes, I mean obviously they've got Overpowered and Cataclysm as well, but this one, the Deepest Dark, is a new it's a new part of the game. It's almost, you know, what you'd probably expect from a campaign mode, possibly, or, you know, little spin-offs, like I said, the special ops. I think the thing is that it shows great potential, but I think they need more of it. It definitely needs more. And this isn't a con, but I think if they are going to follow that, they need almost a whole section of a whole list of levels for you to do. And I think it also needs to have different difficulties, and you can earn, you know, special emblems or something like that for completing them. And obviously they need different difficulties, and I don't know how they could balance that, but yeah, I think it does show great potential if they follow it through. Obviously it depends what everybody else thinks of it, doesn't it, as well? But, you know, I think it's a great idea, but if they can't, I don't think they should implement it as in one at a time, because what will happen, people will play it, and then they'll be like, okay, well, I want to do another one sort of similar to this, but I want something different, and so people will be waiting. So I don't know how they do about it. It might be worth, you know, them, if people have enjoyed it, taking it off and then, you know, building a few, maybe, you know, release 3 or 4 at a time, and then, you know, it gives people stuff to learn how to do it. Okay, so that was for the pros. So yeah, there are some good things about it. Obviously, like everything, there's some good things about it. But now we're going to move on to what I thought probably needs to work on, or how some things that they possibly need to address. Okay, so the first one, it's very, very linear. Throughout the thing, you follow this path, and you follow the same path each time, and the Gorgon Queen attacks you at certain points. Obviously there's like triggers, so when you get to a certain point, the Gorgon attacks. So you're moving through this level. There's no real decision making. It literally, you are funneled down this one path, so it's very linear. So each time you're basically getting the same, you know, obviously like everything, it will change a little bit, but there's no decisions really to make. There's no real decision making. You just follow that path, and you know that when you get to the middle bit of the map, that is when the big fight will happen. So it is very linear. I don't know if that was the intention, but, you know, as in with when you're playing Hunt, for example, you know, you really have to decide which way you're going to try and find it, whereas that one was just, you know, I'm just going one way, and I think that can get boring, to be honest. But like, as I said with the pros, like if they have more of them and make difficulties, then there has to be that reason to replay it. I think there has to be that reason to want to go back and play it again. So, you know, that is one of the issues. I think one of the problems is lack of replayability. If they don't add that variety, or if they don't add that variety to the game mode, I think it's people will very quickly will go off it. Will very quickly go off it. Second one, the player cannot be the monster. Now I have a problem with this. I know it's co-op, and obviously it's for you're playing against the AI, but I think if you put such a cool game in, obviously the Queen Gorgon's obviously a new creature, you know, I think it was almost worth, maybe that is the variant they're going to release, but I thought, you know, maybe that they should have done that first. But you can't play as a monster, and because of this game mode is completely different, and, you know, you have these little minion Gorgons attacking you. I think if you were the monster, you were able to set up like where you're going to attack, where your Gorgons are going to attack, where you're going to be. And, you know, I think that would be great. I think it would be more of an attraction. That would add replayability. I think you just need those decisions. I think if you have decisions of what to do, where you can make it your own, then you have that replayability. It can be different each time. So I really wish, I personally would love to have played the Gorgon in that, and, you know, it's just a shame that you can't. I know when you go into the lobby it says invite player, so I don't know if you can somehow invite player and then they're the Gorgon, but maybe they just haven't set that up yet. So that's a real shame that you can't do that, but hopefully, you know, with the community and what people say, maybe they might make that available. It might be tricky for them, but, you know, I think it would definitely increase people wanting to play it. That was the second one. And the third and the final con that I've thought of, and I have discovered whilst playing through it, is there's no role for the trapper. What do I mean by what do I mean by no role for? Well, in regards to trapping the monster, for one, your planet scanner is disabled whilst you're in game, so you can't use that anyway. Number two, you can't dome the monster because the monster attacks at certain points and it doesn't try to run away because obviously it's AI and it runs away at certain points, so you don't need the dome, so that becomes useless as well. And the problem with the trapper has a specific skill. For example, Maggie has Daisy, so that is one of her ability slots taken up. And now obviously because there's no real use to Daisy because the monster's going to attack at these certain points anyway, so that hinders two of her abilities useless. So she has only got her machine gun, which doesn't do much damage because she's a trapper and it's not her job really to do tons and tons of damage to the monster, and harpoons, which are useful in a fight, but what's the point if you're not needing to find the monster? So basically, the only thing I would suggest, you pick the trapper that does a lot of damage or is very useful in a combat situation. For obviously Abe, for example, slowing the monster and shooting him with your shotgun. That's going to be useful. But then again, Then again, his dart gun is useless because the monster's going to attack at certain points again. So I don't know whether that was just because that's how they're going to do it. You've got to pick the right character for this level to make it easier for yourself or whatever. I don't know whether that was the clue, but I thought it'd be nice to actually, you have to try and. I think they wanted to make it not feel like Hunt, because if you then were trying to find them, you're thinking about, well, this is just Hunt again, with a little bit of a twist, which it kind of is, but yeah. So I hope they, I hope it was just that. I hope they've got more prepared. But yeah, in that instance, I don't think there's a role for the trapper. So that is it. That was my thoughts on the Deepest Dark, the pros and cons that I've identified. Please let me know if you have any others. What is your own view? Tell me in the comments. And as always, if you want to keep updated, follow me on Twitter at RedheadGamer16. And I will see you in the next video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you soon. See you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.